friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. I've been scouring the internet for viral sewing and quilting hacks so that I could either confirm they worked or I could debunk them totally. Let's face it, some of these hacks are out there, right? Don't forget, I have tons of merch to give away, but you need the secret word from today's video, and it's at the end of today's video. Enough talking already. Let's get busy testing out some viral quilting and sewing hacks.
This yarn in the straw quilting and sewing hack, it's been viral for a while now. Now this hack was just okay with one straw until I made it better, and you know I did. Find your clear straw at any fast food restaurant. Cut the straw in two. Get out your washi tape and set up the straw just like you see me doing here. That straw needs to be aligned with your needle. This other straw, I had a little ledge that I could put it on, and I put my washi tape on there to hold it. Attach a straight stitch presser foot. Now it has a tiny hole right in the center there where the needle goes in. Whenever you see a hole in a presser foot like that, that means that that presser foot can only do a straight stitch. It cannot do a zigzag stitch at all. I used this real shiny, bulky yarn that had 4 strands to it, and I took one of the strands out of the bunch. You need a skinny tool like this to grab the yarn through the hole of the straw. Start by pulling the yarn through the horizontal straw on the top right. You can see here that I just let my yarn hang out on the table. Slip your vertical straw out of position and pull the rest of your yarn through it so that it's coming downward toward the needle. Secure the washi tape back over the vertical straw. It's important that you bring not only your thread but your yarn through that hole toward the back of your machine, just like how you see me doing here. For this demonstration, I have a quilt sandwich all made up with a top, a batting, and a backing. All I can say is, wow, I absolutely loved this hack. Most of the viral videos for this particular hack used a zigzag stitch to tack all of this yarn down, and I just didn't like how that looked. The finish using this yarn in a straight stitch was absolutely beautiful. If you have an automatic thread cutter, don't use it. Pull out both the thread and the yarn and cut it off to the side. I really want you to see this finish up close. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, and you can't even see the straight stitch. Of course, I had to push the limit on this particular hack. I pulled out my free motion foot and I tried it. And nope, it did not work with this foot. Maybe it would with another one, I don't know. With a straight stitch presser foot, I give it a thumbs up. This next viral sewing and quilting hack is supposed to help you sew a straight line. Viral video that I saw puts the hook really close to the presser foot, and that's not going to work for me. I can't have something sticking on my bobbin case area and all that. So I stuck mine more toward me, and then I began to sew. I totally thought this hack was going to work. I felt like I had very little control because the hook was so like in my face, kind of. But I'm no quitter, so I tried it again. And the same thing happened again. I had very, very little control, and I just didn't like the way it felt. I'm thinking it's not going to work. And then I tried to get that sticky 3M off of my sewing bed. Oh my word! I won't be doing that again, that's for sure. You probably already know that placing some washi tape down from your presser foot down towards you straight, and then lining up your fabric, that you can sew a straight line nicely. There's absolutely no reason why I see that you need to use that hook. This hack right here seems to be gaining momentum. There are videos out there telling you to use washable markers to mark on your fabric and to make like free motion quilting designs and to sew over them. Pretty much these videos are telling you that this is the cure-all for a marking tool that's erasable, so to speak, or washable in the washer. And you can use this on your garments, on your quilting, all the things that you would need a marking tool for. So I went straight to the store and bought 3 washables, crayons, generic, and the brand name Crayola markers that said washable. I placed a small bit of water on each example just to see what it was going to do at first. I let all 3 examples sit for 12 hours, and then I threw them in the washing machine on Eco Warm with a tiny bit of soap. What's up, Crayola? No, your ultra clean washable crayons, it's a no-go. I was so shocked at the markers. I wanted it to work so bad, but it didn't. The red showed through terribly. The generic washable markers did the best out of all of them, but it left these tiny spots all over the fabric. I mean, I don't know. My advice, use marking tools that are meant for sewing and quilting. Absolutely. This was my first attempt at the viral continuous bias binding quilting and sewing hack. I found out real quick with this viral video, they leave out half the steps that you totally need to know in order to make this bias binding. No worries. I figured it out for us. First, you'll need any size piece of fabric. It has to be a perfect square though. You're going to slice that corner to corner right in half, making 2 half square triangles. Now position those 2 half square triangles, maneuvering them just like you see me do here in the video. Make sure that the sliced area that you just cut is not one of these that are butting up together. Pinch those 2 edges together, making right sides together. This is an important step. Make sure that you evenly have those dog ears sticking out the same on both sides. Then go ahead and pin across and then sew a 1/4 inch seam right there. If you ever get confused as to which side is your bias stretchy side, just go ahead and give it a slight tug and that'll tell you that you're in good shape. Remember, when you cut your square, that slice from corner to corner, that was your bias stretchy edge. In the viral video, they leave out this next step, and it's totally needed. You need to mark your lines however wide you want your bias binding to be. You need to mark them along your stretchy bias edge, not the other edge. You want that stretchy edge. Your line should be parallel to a nice stretchy bias edge. Let me show you. In the example on the left, my lines are not going along the bias edge. The one on the right, it is, and I'll show you. See how that has some stretch? For the next steps, we'll use my larger example. It's 36 inches square. It's already been sliced corner to corner and sewn together, just like in the last step. Right side facing up, you'll lift the one corner up to meet the center. Lift the other corner up to meet the center. Now you're looking at wrong sides. Take the one edge with the lines on it, shift it up by one whole line to meet the next line. Shift a tiny bit more, a 1/4 inch, past that line. Pinch right sides together and pin all along that seam allowance, making sure that each line goes just past its line that it's meeting up with by a 1/4 inch and pin. When it's all pinned up, take it to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. When that's all sewn up, you're going to give it a good hot open seam press. You know I'm not cutting all these by hand with a pair of scissors. I utilized my wool combo cutting mat, slid it inside, and put my ruler on top and sliced it with my rotary cutter, and boy, that was a lot better than trying to cut all those by hand. There's absolutely no way you could have watched that viral hack and known how to do all of this within 30 seconds. Oh my word. But hey, now you know how to do it. You may remember this Pellon Fusible knit from my last hack video. If you remember, we made frankenbatting out of it. This time I'm going to anchor some dot minky and a quilt top together. My very first quilt was made from minky and a quilt top only. I sure wish I would have known this hack back then. Take the rough side of the fusible knit and lay that along both the quilt top and the minky. And then you're going to get a pressing cloth, which is just, a piece of cotton, and just iron over it so that way it all sticks together. If you happen to be working with something other than minky dot and it's a little bit more sheddy, adhering all that together will definitely keep that shed to nothing. Now it's time to sew around your entire quilt with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Be sure to leave an opening so that we can turn our work. Now cut along the entire cotton quilt top line there where the quilt top ends. So you're going to be cutting off most of that minky edge there. Now I always like to leave that flap on all my openings of my quilts so that way it tucks in nicely when it's turned right side out. At the opening edge, just lift that tricot up just a little bit and then snip off the excess there, just enough so you can get your hand in there to turn it right side out. Oh, I hate saying this part. Okay, it's time to birth the quilt. Okay, so now take that little flap and shove it inside of the quilt so that you have a nice edge right there, and then pin it. Roll out all of the seams with your fingertips, making sure that that seam is to the very outer edge, and then pin all the way around. And then of course sew a top stitch all the way around the entire quilt top, closing up that opening. No shifting and no shedding. I like it. To win some Sewing Channel merch, all you have to do is read what's on the screen right now. The secret word is viral. And hey, help me make this video go viral. Share it with everyone you know and on every platform. I'm not done sharing my hacks with you. Look at the playlist that's on your screen right now. Go ahead and click on it. And I'll see you in the next hack video. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.